I think my job is the big aim of the emin project, which is to try to convince people of the importance of minimum income schemes that are decent, accessible, and that also enable people to take up their roles in society and to participate in the labor market, to be reintegrated into jobs. You know, there's so many reasons to convince people of the value of decent minimum income schemes. It's not just good for the people who need support, income support, because they are short of financial means today and their families. It's also good for the whole of society. For people, of course, it's very important to have this minimum income support, because otherwise, how do you want to continue your life? How do you want to raise your children? How do you want to keep your health in order? This is not possible in cash-based societies. But also, for the whole of society, it is so important because people with modest incomes, with low incomes, don't put their money on the bank like which people do. They do it immediately in return in the local economies. So it also feeds in. And it's very clear in all the figures that we have that those countries who have the best social protection systems were also those countries who were the most resistant to the crisis. They could cope with the crisis a lot better than the rest of Europe. And then there's this last argument, which is, well, minimum income schemes represent only a very small part of public spending of governments and local and authorities, whereas the cost of non-investment in minimum income schemes that are decent are so huge in terms of health, in terms of poorly educated kids, in terms of security, because people have to survive anyway. So these are the kind of arguments that we would like to bring to people across Europe and show them that there are certain countries where you have examples of minimum income schemes that do function well. Well, I must say that even in those countries who are very proud of their own schemes, when you see the confrontation between people experiencing poverty in those countries and the authorities, the governments and so on, well then even the officials have to recognize that their schemes are not perfect, or they are not adequate, like in Croatia, where the scheme is only very, very small and cannot cover the daily life expenses that you need, or they are not accessible because people have to fulfill so many conditions. And it's very good to be able to lift up the experiences of people that we meet and to confront them with the authorities, to show the authorities that they can make improvements in their own systems. Okay?